Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers, welcome to Dargah Alia Maikia. We have started the series of reciting the sonnets of Shakespeare with complete understanding. And today we seek the chance to go through Shakespeare's sonnet number 91. This is one of the most famous sonnets. And we will be discussing during the explanation of the sonnet the sources of the sonnet and what was the inspiration of Shakespeare for writing this. We all agree that Shakespeare is one of the greatest writers. And as far as his poetic composition is concerned, it is still matchless in the world. And these sonnets take us to the height of Shakespeare's imaginative work, imaginative worth. So I am reciting sonnet, we will recite sonnet and then we will be reading its explanation and its more details. Sonnet is written in a very simple and very lucid language. It's very easy to understand. There is no tough language used here, unlike Shakespeare's most of the writings. Sonnet starts. This sonnet is known as some glory in their birth, some in their skill. So what a wonderful start and what a wonderful beginning. Shakespeare says, some glory in their birth, some in their skill, some in their wealth, some in their body's force. So Shakespeare has presented four things of greatness, of worth. Some glory in their birth, some in their skill, some in their wealth, some in their body's force, some in their garments, though newly fangled ill, some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. And every humour hath his adjunct player, wherein it finds a joy above the rest. But these particulars are not my mare, yet all these I better in one general best. The love is better than high birth to me. The love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, producer than garments cost, of more delight than hawks or horses be, and having thee of all men's pride I boast. Rate in this alone that thou must take. Shakespeare's final lines of sonnet, the final couplet of sonnet is always striking.
Definitely.
So Shakespeare in this sonnet says, rate in this alone that thou must take all this away and me most rest make.
Wow, beautiful.
I repeat it. Rate in this alone that thou must take all this away and me most rest make. So ladies and gentlemen, this was a sonnet 91 by Shakespeare. We recited it, we read it. The 14-line poem is wonderful and strikingly appealing to our senses. Shakespeare starts his sonnet with wonderful comparison and wonderful explanation that some glory in their birth, some in their skill. That some people are, virtuous, are famous, are glorious because of their birth. Okay? And this is a tradition that continues. The greatness of Shakespeare lies in his universality. The words of Shakespeare are universal. So this was trained in Elizabethan era that people were respected and honored because of their high birth, their noble birth. And this is what we still feel today even. Okay? And Shakespeare continues this line by saying that some in their skill. Okay? The people are valued, the people are respected and honored because of their birth or because of their skill. Some in their wealth. And some people are famous because of their wealth. They don't have a skill, they don't have a high birth, but as they have accumulated wealth in this world, so because of their wealth, they are respected and honored, and they have attained glory. And some in their body's force. Now, this body's force, if we deconstruct it, it doesn't simply mean that they have physical strength alone. Body's force means they might have the force of intellect, they might have the force of intelligence. Physical wealth means physical power is also implied here. Some in their garments. Some people are well known because of their fashion. And though new-fangled ill, some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. And some people claim wealth because of their, possessions, because of their horses. And we can, deconstruct it in the modern way that they have cars, they have vehicles, they have different, possessions. Now, Keller, one of the critics of Shakespeare, says that Shakespeare was inspired by Ode of Horace to Manassas while he had written this sonnet. And John Dover Wilson, another writer, writes that Shakespeare had in fact read Xenophon's Memorabilia, in which these lines are repeated. We all do agree that Shakespeare, whatever Shakespeare wrote, he had certain sources to write on it. Okay, Shakespeare's source of means in the terms of originality, we know that Shakespeare was lacking something. Shakespeare always wrote something and then he transformed the lines into his own genius. And then Socrates also says, one of the line of Socrates is that some delight in good horses or dogs or birds, I delight even more in good friends. So this line that Shakespeare introduces is not a new line, but the line occupies great significance because of Shakespearean touch. When Shakespeare writes something, it becomes valuable. Okay, so these two lines may be compared with the first four lines of the sonnet. Again, the first four lines of the sonnet may be compared with what Malvillo reads from a letter of 12th night. Yes, in 12th night, again, Shakespeare says that some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrusted upon them. Okay, this is what Shakespeare has already told us in 12th night. However, in the first four lines of the sonnet, the poet tells the fair youth that some people are proud of their high birth, some of their knowledge and intelligence, that means skill here, some of their great mass of wealth, some of their muscular strength, body's force is implied here as muscular strength, some of their accoutrements means garments, though the dresses have been outmoded and newfangled, okay, though their dresses doesn't suit don't suit the modern era, but they are proud of it. Some of their exhibits of hawks and hounds, and some of their presentable horses. These different people have therefore various prides of different humors of prides, and they have their corresponding players, wherefrom these people drive different joys more than the rest of the people. Because every man has his own source of joy. Okay, some seek joy in wealth, some seek joy in their high birth, some seek joy and pleasure in their possessions, and some seek joy in their company, etc. So it varies from person to person. So Shakespeare writes it like this, that and every humor has his adjunct player wherein it finds a joy above the rest. But the poet tells the youth that all these players, with all the particulars that are mentioned above, cannot satisfy him. For Shakespeare, these things are not the source of satisfaction. Shakespeare writes that they are not my mare. To the poet, one other player, which is his best player, general or overall player, will supersede all these players. Now, what is that particular player? Shakespeare writes that, but these particulars are not my mare. All these are better in one general best. To the poet, the love of the fair youth is better than the birth in the upper crust of the society. Wow. For Shakespeare, love is a great and supreme source of joy. It is a great source of achievement. It is a great source of, you may say, wealth. So love is not only a great achievement, but it is equal to all the joys that we have already discussed. The love is more valuable, richer than material wealth, and more to be proud of than precious accoutrements, means garments, etc. The love is better than high birth to me. Wow, mark the words of Shakespeare. What Shakespeare says, that he says that love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, founder than garments cost. One can take Dowden found a parallel to this in line 10 of Cymbeline. That's again a Shakespearean work. In Cymbeline, Shakespeare says, richer than doing nothing for a bride, prouder than rustling in unpaid for silk. The love of the youth is of more enjoyment than domesticated hawks and trained horses. And therefore, by possessing the fair youth or the love of him, the poet can be the most proud among all the people. A more delight than hawks or horses be, and having thee of all men's pride I boast. Nevertheless, the poet thinks himself wretched in one respect only, and that is the fair youth may take away his love. So Shakespeare says that if wealth is taken away, nothing happens. If fame is taken away, nothing happens. If reputation is taken away, nothing happens. But when my love is taken away, when my love is not with me, when love detaches itself from me, Shakespeare says that I'm ruined, I'm destroyed, I'm wretched, and there can't be the worst punishment other than this. Okay, for which the poet boasts and thus make him wretched, that he had not formerly been wretched in this alone, that thou must take all this away and me most wretched make. So we may better conclude this sonnet that Shakespeare eulogizes love here. All the sonnets of Shakespeare, circle around the central theme of love. Shakespeare had fallen in love with a woman, and he eulogizes that woman in his sonnets. And this is a general love. This is the universal appeal of the love. And Shakespeare says that nothing is more joyable in this world than love. And when love is taken away, the man feels wretched. And of all the attainments, of all the achievements in life, the love is the best achievement in the world. This is Shakespeare. This is one of Shakespeare's famous
Amazing.
sonnet.
Amazing.
This is Ibrahim Khokhar presenting you to Shakespeare sonnet. And we will be, telling you about different sonnets because this is our regular class. Inshallah, with a new sonnet tomorrow, we will be presenting our video to you again. Thank you for watching this video. Love you.